Hello everyone, welcome to this new TouchDesigner tutorial. In this tutorial, we're gonna recreate this painting by Vicente Rojo. And yeah, I saw an exposition of him a few weeks ago, and I took this photo of this painting, and I wanted to recreate it in TouchDesigner. So I'm gonna show you how I achieved this, and you can know more about Vicente Rojo if you Google it. And this series that it's named The Language of the Letter T. And yeah, so we're gonna start. I'm gonna put this aside and I'm gonna start with a new sketch. So here we're gonna delete all of this in our network, and we're gonna place a null sub so we can create our render network. Then we add a geometry, a camera, we need a constant material, and we need a render also on render top. This render top needs to be 1280 by 1280. And then we need to use a transform, and finally a null. This null we rename it to PG, and we make it active so we can split our network in two and select on the right panel the top viewer. And here on the network we turn off the display of backdrop tops. Okay, so yeah, that's the render network. So I'm gonna open the image again. So this is basically what I did. This, if you see, this is a grid of 15 by 15 triangles, and these triangles has more triangles inside. So we need to use these values to make our grid. So we place a constant, and this constant we're gonna put rows and columns. And we type 15 by 15, and finally we add a null. Okay, so the next step here is to make our triangle. So the way I found we can do this triangle is using line sub. We need first our vertical line, so we don't need any position in, sorry, a 0 position in X and a 1 position in Y in the point A. Then we can copy and paste and change here to 0 and to 1 on the X-axis on point B. And finally, we need the diagonal line that we can put it if we change the point A in the Y position to 1. Then we can merge them, and you can see that we have our triangle. Ta-da! Okay, so the next step is to make this make a surface out of this, and the way to do this is to use a skin sub. The skin sub, what it does is to make a surface out of the points you give it to it. Okay, so yeah, so this triangle, we can connect it right now and we can visualize it. We need to drag this constant to the material, to the geo, and yeah, that's it. Also, we need to change here to the view to orthographic and the ortho width to 1. And you can see that now we can't see the full triangle. That's why that is because we have one size triangle, but our canvas or camera is viewing at 1. So we need to resize this with a transform, and we need to resize in the scale X in columns and the scale Y in rows, and we divide our canvas, that is 1, and the same here. And now we can see our full triangle. Okay, so the next thing we can do is to make our grid. So this grid will be a grid sub with a size 1 by 1 because that's the size we have here. And we connect a null. We change the name to pose. And oops. And we drag the rows to the rows parameter on the grid and the colors to the colors parameter in the grid. And now we can turn on instancing in our geometry and drag this position to translate OP and select P0 and P1. Okay, so that's it for now. The next thing is we need to make the copies out of this triangle. So if we go back to the image, you can see that we have 3 triangles, so we need 3 copies. So we connect a copy sub, the number of copies we change to 3, and if you see, there is this same ratio in the scaling. So the next triangle is the 50% and so on. Okay, so here on uniform scale, what we can do is to drag this parameter and divide 1 divided by that parameter, but we need to delete 1. Oops. So we have the correct scale. Okay, so for now we haven't seen the triangles, and that's because we all are in the same color. So we need to change the color according to the size or the index of that triangle. And how we can do that? Well, we need to use instancing, or sorry, stamping. So here on the copy, we go to stamp page, we turn on stamp inputs. On parameter, we name it to I, and here on value, we type me copy index. Okay, so now we are stamping that information, and we can use that info to make to assign, sorry, the colors to the triangles. So how we can make those colors? Well, we need to use a ramp. This ramp, for now, we need 4 colors because there are 3 colors for the triangles and 1 color for the background. So we need a resolution of 4 by 1. And here interpolate pixel to to nearest pixel, and the input smoothness also. And here 32-bit float RGBA. After this ramp, we need to use a limit because we need to quantize those values, and we need to quantize dividing the full range from 0 to 1 divided by the number of pixels that we have. So 1 divided by 4, and here we need to change to floor. Okay, so now we can also change here to nearest pixel, and you can see that we have 0 to 0.75. And for now, we just need to add a lookup, and here you can add another ramp, and you can change the color, so there will be visible here, or you can use this tool that is available on the derivative page, that is the color lover speaker, and connect it to the second input of the lookup. So I'm gonna drag it here, and you can see that we have here now the colors. Finally, we use a null, and this null we can change it also to nearest pixel. So we need to sample from here the colors that we need and assign it to the current triangle. So after doing this, we need to add between the transform and the copy, we need to add a primitive sub. The primitive sub is the operator that will let us change or assign the color. So we go to attributes page, and on color we select add color. We make bigger this, and we need to sample here the colors. And the way to sample this is using the stamping. Stamping will select the pixel on X, and yeah. So here is op colors. Oops. Colors. Oh, sorry. Here we need to rename to colors. Okay, op colors, and then we're dot sample, and we're gonna sample the position in X will be assigned by the current index of the copy. So this will be fetch stamp of I, and we start from 0, and then we add a comma, and our value on Y is 0 because we have only one pixel. And finally we use, or we select the 0, that is the channel R. And then we just can copy and paste and change this final index to the one that we want. 0 for R, 1 for G, and 2 for B. Okay, so here you can see that we have now our colors, but what I want is that the first color I want it from I want it to be the background color, and then the other ones will be the triangle colors. So to make that, if we start from 0, we only just need to add 1, and we start from the second color, as you can see here. Okay, so also we can use this same expression here on this transform 1. We and we assign it here to the background color of the transform, but we need to quit this fetch stamp because we don't need it, and we only need the position 0 because that is our first pixel, okay, on this array, on this texture. And we copy and paste, we change here to 1 and 2, here the alpha to 1, and comp over background color, and finally we have then our yeah, or background color. So yeah, we're almost there. The next thing to do here is we see these crop areas of our triangle, and that is because our triangle is starting from the origin, but we need to be the center of the triangle in the origin. So after the copy, we use a transform, and on this transform we go to the post page, and on post translate X we select origin, and post translate Y we select origin. And now we have our canvas center, but our camera needs to have the middle of the size of the shape, and the other middle of the size of the shape. So we need to have one more shape to visualize the full sorry, the full grid. And here we can use this size of this shape on the ortho width. So we use 1 plus OP null 1, and we use the size and the index 0, that is the size X. And now you can see that we have our full grid in our full canvas. Okay, so how can we achieve the T shape? Well, what I found, or what I did to make that shape, is that we need to make invisible the triangles that we don't want. And how we can achieve that? Well, we can use a constant top. Constant. This constant top needs to be the size of rows in Y and calls in X, 32-bit float RGBA, and yeah. So if I use a null, and then you can see what we are doing, this will be shape. Okay, so we will use this final texture to change the alpha of the yeah, of the triangles that we have in this grid. So we use the instance to page, we drag the shape to the color OP, and we select A to A. So if I take off the alpha, they will be taken off. But remember, here we don't need to replace, we need to multiply, because we have already our color. So we need to multiply what we have here for this color. So now if I take the alpha down, you can see that they are white, but I think these are necessary. Yeah, so you don't forget to use all the channels, and now you can see that they disappear. So we need to make this T shape from here, and yeah, we will finish this tutorial. So first I'm gonna use a rectangle. This rectangle we change here to pixels, the size, and the output we need to multiply. You can see that here that is happening something. We need to quit anti-alias so we don't have that shading. And we need to invert our background color, needs to be white. And the fill alpha, that is will be our shape. This is what we need to go to 0. And then we need to only give the shape what we need. So if you can see here, we have a rectangle of 5 by 1 2 3 4 5 6 10. Okay, so this will be 5 by 10. And to don't move the center, we can justify this by left and vertical to bottom. And we have that part of the T. So the other shape, what we can do is only to use a mirror. And here we need to rotate by 90 degrees, and we have the other side. So we only need to make this space for these triangles. I can see, sorry, for these rectangles, I can see that there are 2 rectangles, one for here and one for here. And the first one is for 13 by 3. Okay, so I can copy and paste this and connect it after this mirror. Then here on the rectangle 2, we select 13 by 3. Okay, and the justify, we use center for horizontal and vertical to top. And finally, we need to move our center. So here on the center, we change to pixels, and then we move from 1 pixel, and this is -1 on Y. And you can see that now we have this part, and we only need to make the other part. So again, we can copy and paste this rectangle too, and we change that we need 3 by 1 2 3 4 6 8 10, 3 by 10. Okay, so here size 3 on X, 10 on Y. We change the justify vertical to center, sorry, to bottom, and now we only move our center. This needs to be the inverse value, so this is 0 and this is 1. And yeah, that's it for the shape. So yeah, we are almost there. Also, if you want to this become to not have this space between the shapes, we need to make our grid smaller, and needs to be like around 0.93. And yeah, so I can make this bigger, and if I use the H layer home, you can see that now we have all of the shape, all of the shapes are next to the other. Okay, and yeah, so you can start playing with these colors. Also here, between the lookup and the color lover, you can use transform, and on this transform you change the translate to pixels, oops, sorry, to pixels, and here on tile you select repeat, so you can move the pixels on X, and you will have the variation on your on the same palette, but with different positions of the colors. Or also maybe you can abstain dot seconds, and you can see how they are shading. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. I hope you like it and you learned something. I think this is very basic, but it's good to learn how we can recreate the things that we see um, on everyday life. Okay, so yeah, that's it for now. See you on the next tutorial. Goodbye.